Well, hello there, and welcome to this episode of the Terri Show. And I want to start with a question. Do you find yourself ruminating about decisions you've made in the past? Do you find yourself regretting things you said in conversations or actions that you took at different points in your life? How much time do you spend regretting the past, regretting experiences? Well, if you're nodding your head yes, because you're spending more time than you'd like to doing those things, then this video is for you. Because in this video, I'm going to be talking about why we hold on to regrets, why we should let them go, but more importantly, how to let them go, what to do instead. Before we get started, if you are new to my channel, please introduce yourself in the comments below, because we really are a friendly group. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time I roll out something new, which is every Tuesday and every Thursday. And hey man, I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. I also want to say thank you guys so much for all of your participation in this channel. That's what makes it such a healing and safe place to be. So I love to highlight your comments. So right now I'm highlighting a comment under the episode, What Crap Are You Leaving in 2022? From Joseph's Mom 3373. And Joseph's mom says, very helpful, Terri. I've heard your end of the year video for a few years. This year's experience has really allowed me to really listen to you. I get it. I know what I'm leaving and working on and what I'm taking forward with more intention. Thank you for you. Wishing you so much joy in 2023. Well, Joseph's Mom 3373, thank you for you. And thank you for being here, because I appreciate you being here, because it's all of you guys that make this channel what it is and such a safe and sacred place to hang out. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's move it on into today's content. Why do we have this tendency to have regrets? Right? Why, as human beings? Let me just make this super bold, definitive statement. Having regrets is friggin' pointless. Now, I'm not saying we can't feel guilty, wish we had done something different, want to make amends about something, right? That's not what I'm saying. But I've had clients who for years, they are just spending hours, days, their lifetime regretting the past. And it's as productive as like bashing your skull against a stone wall. It doesn't do anything. But what does it do? It anchors you in the past. And what happens when we are anchored in the past? What are we doing? Oh, we're missing our one and only amazing life in this present moment, which will never come again, by the way, right? The moment that we're in right now, it's only coming once. And if you're thinking, feeling bad about things in the past, you're not here now. You're missing what's happening now. You're missing your opportunity to make choices and decisions that you want to make, that you won't regret now. So part of the process of why we do it, right? Let's talk a little bit about that. Listen, we're fear-based as human beings. This is like kind of the state of being. And making mistakes can get really stuck in our craw, right? It can get stuck in our side where we're afraid to make mistakes. Why? Afraid of rejection. And maybe you're ruminating because you made a mistake or you made a bad choice, and that ended in rejection or the end of a relationship or the end of a marriage or the end of a business partnership or whatever it may be, right? There's reasons why we want to avoid it, but here's the thing. Ruminating on regrets is not the way to avoid future regrets. So in the guide that I'm giving you with this episode, go to terricole.com/guide to get it. I'm giving you a whole step-by-step process of being able to reflect on any current regret that you're experiencing or that you've been experiencing. Because a lot of us become defined by our regrets. We become defined by, the relationship that I blew up because I wasn't ready to have a relationship, but now I realize they were the right person. It's sort of the story of the one that got away. There's something that you can do that is so much more productive than nurturing your regrets. Because wherever you spend your time psychologically, right? Whatever you spend the most time holding in your mind, you're going to be drawing like experiences into your life by doing that. So if you're thinking about crap that you regret, trust me, you are drawing more experiences into your life that you will regret. And when you think about how long we live, right? It's one thing if you're in your 20s. You're like, oh, okay, I regret something. But then if you're collecting regrets from your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, you're talking about a whole life of regretting. And what we're really doing is keeping our own low self-assessment, right? We're keeping our badness close to our heart. Like, I made those mistakes, I'm bad. Or I wish I hadn't. I get that. But, you know, I could say, I wish I was born 5'10", and it would all be different. But here's the thing. I wasn't. And there's no way for you to go back in time. And it takes up so much bandwidth. So this is the thing that we want to avoid, is spending our bandwidth on something that is so counterproductive. It doesn't do anything to change how you feel and what you experienced. So let's move into what might. How do we do it and stop being such a bully to ourselves about it? And another thing I want to say before I get into how to do it better is, listen, we all make mistakes. You are a human being. That's it. Like, you're flawed. We're all flawed. So the same way that you would treat your best friend if they made a mistake is how you need to start thinking about treating yourself. There's got to be self-compassion. There's got to be a level of kindness that you're able to muster for yourself. I have total faith. You did the best you could with what you had to work with at the time, right? What do we say? We did the best we could with the level of consciousness, the skills I had, the awareness, the self-awareness. I could spend the rest of my life regretting the mistakes I made in my life and that I continue to make. But I don't, right? I think about before I got sober, when I was in my early 20s, oh my God, the appalling behavior. But I don't. I have forgiven myself. I understand that I did things when I was drunk, when I was drinking all the time, that I would not do sober. And there's got to be that self-acceptance and that self-awareness that there's reasons why you did the things that you did. Listen, nobody really teaches us. There's no training, no modeling of how to handle these difficult things that come up in life for most of us. And listen, I could be wrong. Maybe some of you came from family systems that modeled this perfectly for you. But I know from being a therapist for 25 years that none of my clients came in and said, my parents modeled problem solving and expert communication skills perfectly, because nobody's did. It wasn't a thing. I don't know that it's a thing now. I hope it is. I hope that modern parenting is doing that. But we need to extend compassion to ourselves and give ourselves a pass on making mistakes. Now, when I say a pass, I mean accept that we're human and we're going to make mistakes. Now, what can we learn from the mistakes? Well, as I love to say, in every crap stew of a situation, there is some gem of wisdom in there if you are willing to roll your sleeves up and get your hands dirty and go in and look for what did you learn about yourself. Even the most painful situations, I've gone back to revisit and have been like, okay, there is something that I can learn about myself from this terrible, terrible scenario. And even things that I had nothing to do with, like the death of someone young that I loved or whatever, right? Rather than just having it be an awful experience. Of course, it was an awful experience, but I go, what did I learn about myself? What did I learn about my family? What did I learn about my friends? And there's always something in there. When it comes to the mistakes we've made in life, though, which is different than just having horrible experiences we've sort of created, we have to be willing to go through the shit to look for the gems of wisdom. Because here's the thing that we can get out of it. We cannot do it again. We can make amends if we did something terrible, right? But I also want you to think about the things that you've done and the way that you react to them, probably differently than if it were your best friend. You probably wouldn't be so punitive. You probably wouldn't be so mean in the way that you are approaching it. Really think about it. It's unlikely that you would say the things to your best friend that you maybe say in your own mind. Because this is just so common that we have an inner mean committee and we have these highest expectations of ourselves, you know? All right, so I'm going to walk you through the process that you're going to find in the guide, terricole.com/guide, which is you're going to write down a situation or a decision that you deeply regret, something that could fall into the category of what I've been talking about in this episode. And then I want you to reflect on your reasons for regretting it. Why? Did it hurt someone else? Did you ruin an opportunity for yourself? Did it hurt someone else's feelings? Think about it. Like, why do you regret it? Was there a negative ripple effect from it? We want to kind of identify what that ripple was. Did it negatively impact the quality of your life or the quality of your relationships? So you're going to write all that down. Then step 3, you're going to write down why you made the decision that you made at the time. But I want you to do it from the perspective of a compassionate friend. So it's not going to be you. Think about it. What would your best friend say? Right? So you're going to refer to yourself in the third person. And don't worry, all these instructions are actually in the downloadable guide. So you don't have to write it all down. Just listen and start to wrap your brain around the process, which is, let's just say you got fired from a job. You might write, working for that abusive boss was hard on you, right? Because that's what your friend would say. You didn't have the skills to express what was happening for you to go to HR, but you knew you had to get out. You missed that deadline and got fired as a way of saving yourself. You protected yourself the best way you knew how at the time. So that's what you're going to do in step 3, which is basically creating a compassionate narrative or explanation about why you did what you did. Because listen, you had reasons. We all have reasons why, even if they're misguided, even if they're messed up, even if they're wrong. But we had our reasons at the time, you know? So doing it from a third party makes it a lot easier to be compassionate for ourselves. And step 4, which is super helpful, what might you do differently now if you were in the same situation? So I'm going to ask you to sort of journal this stuff out, because really step 5 is you are going to be focusing your attention on what you can actually change today. What can you do differently right now? Is there an amends that needs to be made? Do you want to do that? Is there someone that you can talk to? When you think about what happens when we have all of these regrets, is that it stunts our ability to grow. Because it's like we're keeping ourselves in this narrow, teeny little box of like, I am this person. You know, I've worked through all of the regrets I've had in my life, meaning because I know how unhealthy it is to ruminate. But I will still sometimes get a flash of regret about something that I said, but then I write about it. As soon as I get something like that, it tells me that that experience is still charged in some way. There's still more that that part of me needs to say about that experience. And so I just go to my journal and I just ask, hey, you just had a flash of regret. Why now? What happened? Was there a precipitating event that inspired that thought right now? Is there anything you can do? Why are you still thinking about it? Did something happen recently that reminded you of that thing that you regret? And just journal whatever comes to mind. And you can just freehand journal, right? It doesn't have to be that you're perfectly journaling. It's almost like having a cut. And if it starts hurting again, you know that there's something in there, right? There's some kind of an infection or something that needs to come out. So imagine that as you're journaling, you're allowing it to come out so that it can heal properly. But the most important aspect of this entire practice and what we're talking about today is that you don't want to waste your precious life force energy making yourself feel like shit about things you did in the past. Regrets weigh us down, right? They're exhausting. They take bandwidth. Like, I don't know about you. I need all the bandwidth I can get. I do not have any spare bandwidth to give to some shit that's not going to change. So again, our reframe, the lens with which we're looking at regrets, is we're now going to see them through the lens of learning. What can I learn about myself? Can I actively and compassionately forgive myself? And it's not about letting ourselves off the hook. It's not about doing something horrible and then being like, oh, I forgive myself. This is more for people who have overly developed, I guess we'd call it superego, right? It's like this conscience, this part of you that can't let go of what happened. It could have to do with being a perfectionist. It could have to do with not being allowed to make mistakes in childhood. It could have to do with being an empath. And so you feel the way you've made other people feel more deeply than others who are not empaths, right? So part of it is you understanding yourself by going through and doing this reflection exercise on any and all of the regrets. And you know them. Listen, we all have some regrets, right? Whether you ruminate on them or not, that's going to be super personal to you. But there's nobody who's lived a life that doesn't have regrets. We all make missteps. But this is a part of our human experience, right? It's the light and the dark. It's not just the light. And so acknowledging the dark, acknowledging the bad, acknowledging the sad, acknowledging the mistakes, this is how we can be fully integrated as a human being, because there's nobody who doesn't have these things. Literally, there is no person alive who doesn't have these experiences. Like there's certain things that are just common amongst human beings, no matter where you live on the globe. And having regrets, if you are someone with any kind of a conscience, right? I mean, listen, there are some mental health diagnoses that people will not fall into this category: sociopath, potentially narcissistic personality disorder. But I'm just talking about regular folks like us, right? We're going to have regrets. Anyway, long way around the barn to get back to, I invite you to do this reflection exercise that you're going to find in the guide, terricole.com/guide, because I want you to have all the bandwidth in the world to create the life, the relationship, the career, the experiences that you want. I don't want one drop of it pointlessly going to a past experience that you cannot do crap about, you know? So anyway, I hope this added value to your life. If it inspired you, please share it with other people in your world. Thank you for being with me. And as always, take care of you.